Who? They're trying to save lives, and the workers, the rescue workers, and all those folks that are around the clock doing their very, very best. And of course, our sympathies with the families and all those who have been the victims of this terrible, terrible act. But now is the time for government to move forward. We're in complete agreement that we will work together, that we want to share information, that we will be ready to move on whatever the President suggests, and we will go through the debate and the actions of Congress in a bipartisan way to make that happen. But as we said last night, when somebody takes this country for granted, when it violates the people of this nation and the sovereignty and the freedom of this nation, this Congress stands united shoulder to shoulder to do the right thing, to stand up for America and do the legislative work and process that we need to do. And we confirm that with the President today.
On a bipartisan basis, I think it is accurate to say that we literally and figuratively stand shoulder to shoulder in our appreciation of the job ahead. It is to help the victims, to care for the families, and to punish those responsible. With a single-mindedness of that appreciation, we begin our work this afternoon. On a united, bipartisan, bicameral basis, we will be passing a strongly worded resolution this afternoon. We will work with the administration to allocate the resources and to dedicate whatever strategy may be required to fulfill our obligations. It is our strong desire to do this not as Republicans or Democrats, but as Americans. And we will continue to demonstrate that desire as we consider whatever other actions may be required in days ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What did the President ask of you?
The congressional leadership, having met with the President, coming out to talk briefly with the press. First, the Speaker of the House, Denny Hassert, followed by the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Democrat Tom Daschle. Kate Snow joins us now from Washington. Kate, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Aaron. We heard echoed there much of what we've been hearing ever since yesterday when congressional leaders started to come out and talk with us and say, look, we are united. We stand behind our president. We're going to give him the support that he needs. House members have been filing in. While they've been talking, they've been filing in behind me here into the chamber. They are about to get a briefing as we speak from the FBI director, Mr. Mueller, and also from Attorney General John Ashcroft. The FEMA director, Joe Albaugh, had also talked about coming to brief Congress. We imagine he may be here as well. They're having these briefings behind closed doors, all of the members of the House inside the House chamber being briefed. That FEMA briefing will be especially important, Aaron, because one of the big questions looming here on Capitol Hill, although people would rather not have to even discuss this, but a big question will be how to pay for everything that you see going on in New York, at the Pentagon, in Pennsylvania. Who's going to pay for all of this? I talked to the Budget Committee chairman of the House, Jim Nussle, just a few moments ago, and he tells me that it's not likely they're going to give the president a blank check, if you will, but on the other hand, there is unanimous support, I should say, bipartisan support to help the president with what he needs and to give the money that's needed to help with immediate needs, with recovery, with rescue, with even rebuilding perhaps parts of the Pentagon. The Democrats, some of them are cautioning that they're going to be a little bit cautious about giving over too much and destroying the budget of the government. You know, there was a lot of discussion about the U.S. government's budget before all of this happened.
Kate, let me interrupt you here. I'm sorry. As Congress works on that, investigators continue to work on who's responsible. We want to join our coverage or the coverage of our affiliate in Boston, WHDH, for more on the investigation.
Weston Copley at this point. Relatively calm inside the hotel, except, of course, on the 16th floor where all of this flurry of activity is suddenly taking place. I was there briefly and saw that there were EMS standing by on that floor with stretchers, also police officers making sure that none of the guests or anybody else in the hotel was going to be getting off on the 16th floor, and also federal agents standing by there. They were obviously very intent in their efforts that were taking place there, whatever the operation was. However, they had not shut down the elevator to the floor as of 15 or 20 minutes ago. So it seemed to be that there was still some confusion among the guests, to some extent, some confusion among the emergency personnel who were responding here. Much of what is happening in the hotel, though, seems to be business as usual, certainly outside of the extraordinary events now focused on the 16th floor.
And are you in the lobby right now?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly where I am, Jonathan, but I'm upstairs in the hotel.
Okay. Are you able to get to any authority or anybody in charge you might be able to interview on the telephone?
We're going to try to do that right now, actually. We've been trying to reach those people, and I have talked to a few of the people. They're slowly beginning to understand what's happening, watching television sets where they can sneak into a room and see something that's going on. Very concerned for their safety, although nobody has officially told them that there's any threat to any of us who are inside the hotel at all. However, as the maids and some of the other staff here get word of this, they're just taking it upon themselves, I think, to leave and make sure that they're watching all of this from a better vantage point.
We'll continue with Julie outside. Christina, why don't you take a walk around and see if you can get anybody to speak with you?
It's very curious as to what really might be going on, because if you think if this is a bomb threat that the hotel would immediately evacuate everybody, but Christina is saying it appears there are still guests there and the maids are still walking around and they don't really know anything about what's going on.
It's a tale of two scenes. From Christina inside, it seems to be business as usual, but outside, Julie O'Clair, this picture is anything but a normal day.
Anything but normal, Jonathan, and as you may be able to see, there are more and more people gathering. They are across the street all throughout Copley Square, everyone wanting to know what's going on in the Westin Hotel. At this point, as we mentioned, still dozens of police officers. They have the street blocked off just in front of the Westin Hotel. Tactical response team still inside. The entry and apprehension team, as I mentioned, going in with full gear, with their shields up, with their guns drawn. Up to the 16th floor where Christina McKenna saw them. They brought in the fiber optic equipment. They want to look under the doors. They want to see exactly what they're getting into before going into these rooms. We did get word a few minutes ago that possibly some suspects were in custody. That is not confirmed, but that they had gone back in to look and see if anyone else was in the rooms. I can't tell you how many people are out here. People are standing on top of cars just trying to get a better look. But as Christina said, it seems to be business as usual. I'm not sure what floor she's on at this point, but I can see into the lobby, still people milling about, employees still inside, trying to do their best to keep people calm, let everyone know that everything is okay for the time being. No evacuation at this point. But again, 2 ambulances waiting here outside. The armored truck that the tactical team came from, they have been going back and forth to get more equipment. The last time they came out, they did get that fiber optic equipment, and they haven't come back since. But there is a huge police presence as they wait to see exactly inside.
This story, the wires, the Associated Press, crossing the flash that dozens of police officers have pulled up outside the Westin Hotel in the Back Bay. A tactical team is seen running in and out of the hotel, as we've been reporting to you for about the past 15 or 20 minutes.
Julie, we see from the glass doors of the entrance to the hotel a lot of plainclothes people.
Many different sources. In about an hour and a half, a truckman